Gupta still with us. Ambassador Gauri Shankar Gupta, let me come back to you now. Okay, I think we've lost him. Ambassador Gupta, okay, we've lost Ambassador Gupta, but let me come to you, Major General Sudhakarji, on this dinner. Now, this is an occasion when the two leaders can break the ice, can, take off from where they left off when they last met, can talk about a host of issues, isn't it, that normally they would not when things are on record. When they are surrounded by dignitaries, other officials, ministers, and the media as well. There are certain issues that are only spoken about closed door. Is that what we expect will be happening at 7 LKM this evening, as the Russian president is hosted for this dinner ahead of that summit tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely, Uday. What comes to my mind in response to your question is that the current global order, because of the tariff war which is ongoing, it has compounded the geopolitical churn and geoeconomic churn of the world order. This, to my mind, should rightfully, if at all we have to pick a particular subject at the global level, should actually, secure the weightage and the substance of the subject. So this is first point they would like to discuss. In this point lies the energy security of India. Because whether, you see, if you, I'm sure your research section would have given you the details. If you carry out a kind of a comparative analysis from 2020-21 till 2025 September, you see, we started with 1.6% in 2021 of the total oil that we import for consumption in a country, and it went up to 2%, and thereafter 19%, thereafter 41%, 33.4%, then 41%. So highest has been 41%. But in September 2025, the oil has import from Russia has come down to 31%. So there is a drop in percentage of 10%. So what am I trying to indicate? Well, I'm trying to indicate one aspect, that when Donald Trump talks about India as a laundromat and it's fueling the war in Russia, Ukraine, because we are buying oil, he doesn't mean to talk about oil. He's actually, the hidden intention behind this is that all transactions for buying oil from Russia is taking place in non-US dollar currency.
Yes.
When you talk about US dollar currency, let me give the example, the total
Yes.
import trade in past 4 years or 3 years, 3.5, has been $135 billion, out of which 75 billion has been in
Yes.
ruble, rupee or
Yes.
yuan currency.
Shruti, tomorrow, of course, also is the business summit as well. And we can expect, of course, also a key focus to be on the trade deficit and how to bridge this trade gap. While defense and energy is going to, of course, be the focus, the other areas also will be on the table as well, isn't it?
Yes, you're absolutely right. Trade will be a very large part of this. We should expect many MOUs coming out of it. But the plus point is, when the two leaders of the nation are interacting while there is a business summit already planned, the MOUs turn into business deals very, very fast. So this is my understanding of why it is important that Putin is here while the business summit is being held. It is not a random visit. It is very calculated. It is pre-planned. We know exactly which direction we want to take this conversation and this relationship in. In terms of trade, we are looking for fertilizers. We might even be setting up a plant of urea via joint cooperation in Russia itself. We are looking for cooperation in our small modular reactors, which is technology help that we would want from Russia to set up clean energy, have us meet our energy goals and our energy security, because we would like to move away from our non-renewable resources as such. So these are a few things that we are looking at as of now. Beyond this, we are also looking at opening up the markets
Yes.
in Russia. So we want marine, agriculture, as well as pharmaceuticals to be increased. So when we have an increase of this, it'll offset any of the transactional losses that we have suffered as a result of the sanctions that we are suffering in the name of helping Russia.
All right. In fact, more news now coming in this hour. Global attention is firmly on New Delhi for President Putin's two-day visit to India. President Putin, of course, has arrived with a high-powered Russian delegation. Now, this comprises senior ministers, key policy makers, as well as influential business leaders. This is a high-intensity trip that is expected to deliver a broad slate of agreements across defense, energy, employment, mobility and trade. Here's a look at the top leaders who are accompanying the Russian president. Well, first on the list of delegates is the Russian Defense Minister, Andrei Belosov. Of course, arrived earlier and has already been in a huddle in New Delhi with his counterpart from India. A lot lies on his shoulders as the overall focus of this visit will be to further expand the already close defense and security ties between the two countries. President Putin will also be joined by Dmitry Shugayev, the director of Russian Federal Service for Military Technical Cooperation. His presence highlights the strong defense technology agenda of the visit. Shugayev is expected to lead talks on expanding military technical cooperation, especially as India seeks access to advanced combat systems, including next generation and fifth generation aircraft. His role will focus on pushing forward joint development and deeper collaboration in cutting-edge aviation technologies. Now, apart from top ministers, President Putin will also be accompanied by Dmitry Bakanov, the head of Roscosmos. His visit is a clear signal that space cooperation is going to be on the agenda. Dmitry has announced that Moscow intends to unveil good news on joint ventures in areas like rocket engine development, crewed space flights, orbital stations, personal training and rocket fuel, likely formalizing agreements just days after the visit begins. Alexei Likhachev, the head of Rosatom, will be traveling to India as part of the Russian delegation, underscoring that civil nuclear cooperation is a top priority of the visit. He will carry a full proposal portfolio aimed at deepening cooperation on nuclear energy, including plans for building new reactors and promoting small modular reactors in India. From the side of Russia, Igor Shuvalov, the chairman of VEB.RF, will ensure that economic and infrastructure cooperation features prominently in the discussions. As the head of Russian State Development Bank, he is expected to push forward conversations on investment, trade, financing, including potential mechanisms in rupee and ruble, and large-scale industrial projects, strengthening the economic pillar of the India-Russia partnership. Alongside him, top business leaders will also join the delegation, including the heads of Rosneft, Sberbank, Rusal and VTB Bank, rounding off a powerful mix of political, strategic and corporate representation for President Putin's visit. So a power-packed delegation, Brian, is with, of course, President Putin as he comes to India. Not just one, not just two, but multiple senior ministers and top businessmen of Russia.
Well, clearly, as of now, several dignitaries have been a part of this very delegation. You talk about the defense minister itself. Now, very importantly, just the latest breaking that we are letting you know from S7LKM. Let me just show you the visuals as we are speaking. Just a while back, as we were speaking, as you were also giving out these informations of the leaders, the dignitaries who have been visiting, clearly right now, the Home Minister itself, Amit Shah, has reached the 7LKM itself. So clearly this is the latest breaking that we are letting you know. Just now itself, as his entourage, his convoy reached the 7LKM itself. So clearly Amit Shah will also be a part of the private dinner that is being hosted for Russian President Vladimir Putin itself, and then informal conversation also that will be happening where the Home Minister Amit Shah will also be taking part and will be partaking in at this very juncture, at this very place that we are showing you. Uday.
So that's a big breaking development coming in. Home Minister Amit Shah has also reached for that private dinner. So that is the big breaking input coming in. The dinner, of course, has commenced, and our Home Minister Amit Shah has also arrived for that dinner that is being hosted at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. Brian.
Well, yes, Uday. Clearly, we've just broken this very information, the fact that just a while back when you were, reading out all the important dignitaries who were coming from the Russian side, just a while back, the entourage, the convoy of the Home Minister entered the 7LKM. Okay. Now, there are two gates of the 7LKM. One is...
Absolutely. So the Home Minister has also reached for the dinner. All right, we have another very special guest, in fact, joining us now on the broadcast. Boris Kanchalian is live with us now, Deputy General Director of Gazprom Media Holdings. Welcome. Thank you very much for being with us today. on Newsx, Mr. Kalyan. Now, help put things in perspective for this key visit of Vladimir Putin to India. How important is this for the Indo-Russia partnership, sir?
Расскажите, пожалуйста, с вашей точки зрения, приезд Владимира Владимировича Путина сюда, в Индию, встреча, насколько действительно важно для отношений между двумя нашими странами?
Мы, наверное, не можем говорить про какие-то политические вещи и комментировать их, потому что мы, наверное, не специалисты в этом, но с точки зрения личных ощущений, я считаю, что это очень важно так для жителей Индии, так и для жителей России. Почему? Потому что это все-таки знак качества, гарантия того, что можно вести дела, можно вести бизнес не только в производстве кино и сериалов, и в импорте, экспорте кино и сериалов, что сейчас важно, но и в любых других средах, в туризме, в повышении товарооборота и других вещей. И в рамках этого форума, в рамках этой встречи будут подписаны ряд соглашений, которые в какой-то части должны упростить товарооборот, упростить взаимодействие, работу, сделать более качественным работу там, с налоговыми и обменом данными. И я думаю, что это важно, и важно для как раз-таки подтверждения качества взаимодействия.
Okay. So we are not professional politicians to talk from that perspective, but we can judge as regular people and the people from the business. So from our perspective, it helps to increase our collaboration, not only in production of TV series or content production in general, but also in speaking from the point of view of goods turnover, or it's really it's really a good support to promote both business from both sides, from Indian and from Russian side.
And how do you see the cultural collaboration as well? Cinema, films, complementing the broader diplomatic engagement taking place between India and Russia during such high-level visits, such as President Putin's.
А как вы думаете, вообще вот этот визит, какие перспективы вы видите взаимодействия теперь именно в разрезе именно киноиндустрии, медиа и так далее, благодаря этому визиту?
Да, если возвращаясь к первой части вопроса, я точно считаю, что в рамках этого визита будут подписаны соглашения не только государственные, но и между компаниями «Газпром Медиа Холдинга», в частности, с рядом других компаний, о которых мы анонсируем по подписанию, да, за эти несколько дней. И в рамках визита качество этих контрактов будет на другом уровне, на качественном уровне, который на самом деле не позволит ни компаниям российским, ни компаниям индийским нарушить договоренности, которые подписываются при участии либо в рамках визита президента. По крайней мере, у нас в России это не принято нарушать эти договоренности.
So, first of all, speaking from the content of view and from the film industry, this is remarkable event here, and also as our leaders meet here, so this is a really a confirmation that our relationship will expand, and we will proceed and we will sign some statements, some agreement between our industries, which will help us to increase our collaboration, and under this umbrella meeting between Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin and Modi. So that's a really cool sign to proceed our further collaboration.
And what do you believe are the biggest opportunities currently, you know, in co-producing films between India and Russia and possibly Serbia as well?
Как вы думаете, вот какие возможности и перспективы видите в создании копродукции между Индией, Россией и вот Сербией сегодня присутствует?
Я думаю, что это не быстрый путь. Это путь, в котором нужно идти в течение нескольких лет. Но это как скоростной поезд. Он медленно разгоняется, но быстро едет. И когда аудитория уже привыкнет к актерам, это самое на самом деле важное, привыкнет к актерам и будет их ждать, уже производство будет конвейерное. Вот, например, наши партнеры турки, они 20 лет уже занимаются производством и дистрибьюцией контента как сериального, так и кино, но в основном сериального. Производят по 1000 серий сериалов уже. Мы общаемся с большим количеством компаний, там смотрим на их опыт и видим, что они за 20 лет смогли построить историю, что турецкий контент теперь идет во весь мир, и он ожидаемый. То есть люди его ждут. И через этот контент они в том числе свою историю, свои смыслы и какие-то значимые вещи импортируют. Да? И в этой части я считаю, что у нас тоже есть большая возможность как раз-таки построить эту линию, так как, например, в России эта ниша постепенно освобождается, уходит иностранный контент, европейский, с нетрадиционными ценностями. В рамках стратегии национальной безопасности Российской Федерации традиционные ценности все-таки на первом месте. И мы можем делать тот самый качественный контент, который будет развивать среду и укреплять межнациональные, межконфессиональные даже отношения и вводить их на качественно новый уровень.
Okay, so first of all, this is it takes time. Of course, this is not just easy, but you can imagine the speed train. It starts slowly, but it goes fast. So I think co-production with India will be developing in the same way.
Okay.
And it takes time because all actors should be recognizable here, Russian, I mean, and Indian in Russia. So let's see what is going on with Turkish industry as an example. So
Yes.
they started 20 years ago. They invested a lot. They started to bring content over the globe, and then, only then, they became famous in terms of TV series and content production itself. But now in Russia we have a business niche because some majors left Russia, and we see that such a business needs for content with
Right.
traditional values, family values, like India has and Russia has. So
Okay.
there is huge opportunity to start our co-production projects. But yes,
Right.
it's not so fast as we expect.
But how are you envisioning going forward, Boris, India and Russia relationships, India-Serbia relationship? How are we going to expand our cultural partnership, say, over the next 5 years?
Вот как вы видите развитие вообще российско-индийских и сербских культурных отношений, расширение в ближайшие именно 5 лет?
Но я вижу, в ближайшие 5 лет, если мы упорно поработаем, мы можем через контент, и еще раз, не только через кино, а через все виды контента продвигать культуру и ценности, показывать туристические возможности, что для граждан Индии интересно посмотреть Россию. Мы видим прирост в связи с укреплением отношений. И что для русского туриста будет как раз-таки развиваться интерес через контент к такому виду туризма. Например, вот приведу одну практику. Мы снимали шоу «Выжить» в Самарканде. Самарканд был малоизвестный город в России, для русского населения. И за одну ночь на 11% после выхода на нашей платформе и канале, за одну ночь на 11% увеличилась покупка билетов в Самарканд после выхода. И он постоянно растет. Поэтому коллеги из, соответственно говоря, Узбекистана сейчас требовательно попросили и проучаствовали в создании второго сезона. И мы видим, что это способствует развитию отношений. А человек, который приедет, он все равно транслирует это через свои соцсети, через свои какие-то каналы коммуникации, и интерес оживляется, и он растет.
So, speaking about perspective in nearest 5 years, this is not only TV content or just content production, movies, series. This is also content in general, because imagine we shooted a TV show in Samarkand, in Uzbekistan. This is a small country, a small city, and then we released this show on TV, and during the one night, 11% growth of air ticket sales we observed after in one day. So, and this is a good start for our countries to expand to each other. And imagine bloggers will come to Russia, will shoot something and they will post, and the same bloggers from Russia to India will come and will create a content, and they will promote countries through the content, for such social media content. That's could be one of the steps from the very beginning.
Right. Boris Kanchalian, thank you very much for joining us with your perspective, of course, on that big story and on Vladimir Putin's visit to India. Okay, let's go across to Shikha Selari now. She's live with us from ITC Moria in Delhi. Shikha, what time is President Putin expected to be back at the ITC Moria Hotel, where of course he's staying after this dinner that Prime Minister Modi is hosting at 7 LK? Sambhav Sharma, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we've lost Shikha, but Sambhav is with us. Sambhav, take us through, what you're tracking on ground. Of course, that dinner is on currently, that Prime Minister Modi is hosting at 7 LKM for the Russian president. Also, of course, security in the national capital is at a heightened state of high alert as well.
Well, absolutely. As you rightly pointed out, the security is no doubt at the high alert, and I'm reporting currently from outside 7 LKM, where Russian President Putin, along with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah, present inside 7 LKM, and that intimate dinner is going on as we report, and it's likely that this would continue for some 20-25
All right, more visuals
minutes.
coming in, breaking visuals coming in. The first visuals of President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. These are the breaking visuals coming in, and you can see there how beautifully the Prime Minister's residence has been lit up in the welcome of the Russian president in Indian and Russian colors. The flags also of the two countries, of course, adorning the entry of 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. The Prime Minister of India and the Russian President reached in the same vehicle to 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. They departed the Delhi airport in the same vehicle, and they've of course arrived now at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. These are those inside visuals that we're putting out first right here on Newsx for our viewers. How beautifully the 7 Lok Kalyan Marg residence of Prime Minister of India has been lit up in this red carpet welcome being accorded to President of Russia on his first evening in New Delhi. You can see there how beautifully the lights on the walls and of course on the ceiling and outside the Prime Minister's residence are switching from the tricolor to of course the Russian flag colors as well. So from blue, red and white to orange, green and white as well. And also of course the Russian flag adorning the entrance, also the Indian flag adorning the entrance. The tricolor clearly shows us how much preparations have of course been put in place for this dinner. This is of course the ceremonial private welcome dinner that the President of Russia is being hosted for in New Delhi by PM Modi. You can see the bonhomie also on display as they walk inside. The two all smiles, the body language of course also very clear. Sambhav, these are the inside visuals coming in of that dinner.
Well, absolutely. And I'm also reporting from 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. I'll request my video journalist to pan the camera and try to show visuals, the visuals from 7 Lok Kalyan Marg, if we are able to see something from inside. However, see, if we talk about the security measures here outside 7 LKM, it's like fortress currently, and you can see the...
Okay, so fortress outside, but of course a beautiful picture inside. The tone and tenor being set for the Russian president's visit through these first and exclusive visuals that we're putting out of that private dinner that Prime Minister Modi is hosting for the Russian president. In fact, in a fresh piece of input, we also told you about Home Minister Amit Shah. He's also arrived there at 7 LKM for this meeting. All right, on that note, we're taking a very short break. Don't go anywhere. Much more on the other side.